Hey everybody, we are continuing our series on how to add rhythm to chord changes. So today we're going to be talking about our 3-note rhythm pattern, and we're going to be playing that over our 5th chord progression. So we've been using the major scale chord progression, and I'll go over this again just real quick. So major scale chord progression uses the major scale of the key that you're in. So if we're in the key of C, you assign numbers to it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then back to 1. So the chords is a 1 chord or a C. Your 2 is always going to be a minor, so it would be a D minor or a 2 minor. And then your 3 is a 1 over 3, so a C chord over an E bass. Your 4 would be an F. Your 5 would be a G. Your 6 is a minor, so it's an A minor. And then your 7 is a 5 over 7, so which would be a G over a B bass. And then your last chord is a C, which is where we started. But we're not going to use that progression, we're using our 5th chord progression. So, have you ever wanted to learn how to play your favorite worship songs on piano? Well, I have something that's perfect for you. It's called Worship Piano Academy. It's an online space to help people of all skill levels learn to play worship piano exactly like the pros do. It's packed full of simple techniques that are easy to follow and tailored specifically for worship piano players. If you're brand new to piano, we have all the basic lessons to get you on track. If you've been playing for a while, we have tons of advanced lessons and tips for you too. So check out worshippianoacademy.com. It looks like this. Here's your 1 chord, which is a C, and you have octave Gs. Actually, we'll start down here. And then here's a F2 over D. So here's your F chord, and you add a 2, and you're playing it over a D. So that's in place of a 2 minor. And then your 1 over 3 is a C over E. And then your 4 chord is an F sus4. Again, here's your F, or F sus2, sorry, and you add the 2. And then your 5 chord is a G sus4, and you have octave Gs. So here's your G, here's your sus4, and you're playing the octave G. Your 6 chord, your 6 minor, is a C over A. So it's not a 6 minor, it's a C over A, or A minor 7 if you play it that way. Or A is another way of saying it. And then your 7 chord is a G sus4 with octave Gs over B. And then your last chord is a C. So that's the progression that we're going to be using. And then the rhythm pattern, it's going to be 3 notes, and we're going to be playing that as 16th note rhythm patterns. And so quarter notes are like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, where there's 4 quarter notes inside a measure, and it just repeats. An 8th note is you double that, so it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then 16th notes you double that, so it's 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. So that 16th note pattern is how we're going to be playing our rhythm. So just like the first 4 videos, the 3-note pattern is the top note of your left hand. So if we're going to play the C chord here, so it would be here, and then the 2nd and 3rd note is the first and last note of your right hand of that chord. So if we're playing the C like here, our first note and our last note. So it'd be 1, 2, 3. And if we go to the next chord, it'd be 1, 2, 3, because our chord changed now. So again, it's still the first and the last note. Go to the next chord, 1, 2, 3, chord, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to jump down here because I'm out of room. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And that rhythm pattern is played on the E and that goes right into the next chord. So we'll walk up, we'll have the chord on the 1 beat, and then we'll count 2, 3, 4. E and is where we'll play our rhythm pattern, and then we'll go into the next chord. So it sounds like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. E and 1, 2, 3, 4. E and 1, 2, 3, 4. I have to move down because I'm out of space. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so sometimes chords are more frequent. So now let's try that same progression, but instead of having a chord on the 1 beat, we're going to have the chords change on the 1 and 3 beat. So it'll look like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we can double up those chords. So there's a chord on the 1, 2, 3, and 4 beat. So then it's like you're constantly playing rhythm. So it sounds like this. And then another thing you can do is you can add quarter note hits to your right hand when the chord changes are less frequent. And so we'll go back to where there's a chord change only on the 1 beat. And so on the 2, 3, 4, we're going to hit quarter notes in our right hand, and we just hit that chord over. And then on the 4, E and is when we'll do the rhythm pattern going into the next chord on the 1 beat. So it'll sound like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Move our hand down. And we'll go ahead and walk back down. Like that. And notice my left hand is jumping up and down. And basically, I want to keep my hands as close as I can together. And so, while still playing octaves with my left hand. And so when I get to this point here, I have to figure out which thumb I'm going to play on this G note, because it's sharing that same note between the chord on my right hand and the bass note on my left hand. So when I get to that position, I'll just go ahead and move my hand down so I can play it there and then play both G's there. Same thing when I'm coming down. I know that I'll have room if I bring my hand back up when I go to the F. So that's kind of the idea of when you want to bring your hand up closer to your right hand or bring your left hand back down to create space. And then obviously songs don't follow this chord progression that walk all the way up that scale. And so what we're going to do is we'll just choose kind of a typical progression where it'd be 1, 6 minor, 4, 5. So here's your 1, here's your 6 minor, here's your 4, and here's your 5. And so it'll look like this: 2, 3, 4. So I can play the F here, make the chords on the 1 and 3. And now we'll try 4, 1, 5, 6. So to the 1, to the 5, to the 6. And you can pick and choose which chords you want to play just to practice this rhythm pattern with this chord progression. So you can just choose whatever you want to do here. To a 6, to 5 over 7, to 1, 1 over 3, 4, 2 minor, 5 over 7. And that's pretty much it for this one. And now I want to go through all 12 keys and play it just so you get an idea of how they sound in all 12 keys, and it'll help you practice too. So we'll start in C. Walk up. Jump down. And we'll go to D. is the last one. And now actually I want to go through the sharps and flats too, so you get an idea of how to play that. So we'll start in C sharp. And then D sharp. Go F sharp. And then G sharp. And then B flat. And that's it. So that kind of gives you an idea of how you can play that 3-note rhythm pattern over that 5th chord progression. So practice that in all 12 keys and play around with using different chord progressions in there, whether it's a 1, 4, 6, 5 or whatever, or you can use that progression to play along with different songs and see when those rhythm patterns will best apply to that song. So hope that helps. I'll see you in the next video when we go over our 4-note rhythm patterns over those same 5 chord progressions.